What's a sensation that you're unsure if other people experience? If I'm running for a long time and then I stop, it feels like everything around me is slowly zooming in and out at the same time. Weird. Sometimes I can feel my heart pulsing in my stomach, shoulders, legs, just a wandering heartbeat. If I sit just right I can see my stomach pulse. It freaked me out the first time, but apparently it can happen. That weird cringy shiver up my spine when I touch certain rough materials, usually fabrics, like scratching my polo shirt with my fingernails. Simply rubbing shirts together would do it. I mostly get the feeling when scratching my hairy chest through a polo with an undershirt, or using microfiber cloths. It is also the same feeling as when I see someone with gross injuries. Occasionally I will literally turn my head and it feels like I randomly get a hard karate chop on my neck, like someone grabbed and pulled a muscle inside my neck. I stay conscious, but my vision blacks out for a second or so before coming back. Sometimes I get a really sharp pain in my chest area that lasts for a few seconds. Haven't had it for a few months, but I used to get it about once a month. I'm 18. If I yawn real big while music is playing, the key of the music changes, almost like the song is suddenly out of tune, then snaps back when I finished yawning. I assume something to do with the sound passing through a smaller opening in my ear canal. I'm sure other people have noticed this, but everyone I've mentioned it to in person looks at me like I'm crazy. Sometimes, when I'm super relaxed and sitting/laying down, I'll get a strange feeling that I'm floating, but also simultaneously sinking. It's actually pretty pleasant. Whenever I bite into an orange flavored Starburst, I cough. I don't know why, but it triggers a cough immediately. I googled this and no one seems to experience this. I get deja vu a lot, and it's really vivid. I know other people get it, but I'm not sure if they do as often as I do, about once every few weeks normally, but it lasts for 10 minutes or so at a time. Sometimes one of my eyes will randomly throb/vibrate/tremble for a few seconds. Not painful, but very bizarre. I sometimes lose all hearing in one of my ears and all I can hear is ringing, like when you hit a wind chime. I see thousands of spots, colors etc., especially in the dark. Also, I can feel the scar tissue on my lung where they removed my upper left lobe as well as other internal organs. Sometimes I sort of zone out and feel like I don't exist. I step out of my body and I observe what I'm doing rather feeling like I'm actually doing it. Sometimes I'll get a random sharp stabbing pain right up my ass. It only lasts for a couple of seconds, but it feels like a stabbing pain right up the chute. No idea why it happens. I've never had any health problems back there or put anything in it besides, poop. Sometimes, even though everything looks the same, it feels like the room is huge and I'm tiny. I get this a lot. I think it's Alice in Wonderland syndrome. More common amongst children, but I'm 25 and still get it. If I touch the bottom of my belly button I can feel it in the tip of my dick. When I touch my belly button, I get an uncomfortable sensation in my lady bits. When I'm really hungry there's a crackling noise in my throat. Sometimes my throat will just randomly make noise kinda like a ticking. This isn't vocal, but rather something I can feel or hear. I sometimes feel like I have an itch under my skin, like I need to peel off my skin to scratch the itch. It happens very infrequently, and if I ignore it, it goes away in a few seconds, but it's stuck in weird. Edit. I appreciate people's concern that this is some kind of skin condition or the result of doing drugs, but it's something that just happens every once in a blue moon and really isn't too different from a regular itch. I really don't think it's something to worry about at all. Sometimes one of my earlobes will start throbbing out of nowhere. Also, my scalp will fall asleep occasionally, which is a very interesting experience. Usually after reading about accidents or trauma that involve mangling/fractures of limb, I feel funny moving my limbs around, like it's not a part of my body, and at the same time I could injure them easily anytime now. If I drink a moderate to substantial amount of water within anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours, about 1 hour after I finish drinking the water, I will pee every 10 minutes for the rest of the day. Sometimes everything around me just feels like it's moving slower than usual. I feel like my right ear reacts to sound by trying to move in the direction it's coming from. It feels like a muscle or something is pulling it that way, and when I turn my head, it feels like it follows the sound. It's not enough that I can see it move, and it's just the one ear. I also can't control it. If the pulling gets annoying, I have to make a sound in front of me to get its attention. There's a specific rhythm, like a badly played triplet, that sends my entire body into a momentary panic. When I go from hot to cold environments, I sometimes get super itchy. It feels like prickles all over. Also sometimes I flex my eyes and can make things go super blurry. I assume that's normal, but nobody ever talks about it. I have the opposite experience, where I get super itchy going from cold to hot. Does anybody else smell cold air? I get weird looks every time I try to explain it to my friends. I know what you're talking about. It's especially bothersome to me when someone comes in from being out in the cold and they reek like it. The best I can describe it is it smells stale and sometimes almost metallic. Sometimes when I'm in bed and the house is totally quiet, I feel like I can hear a muffled infomercial or something softly playing in another room. I can't make out any words, but I hear inflections and it always sounds like a man and a woman. I've asked my so if he can hear it, but he always says no. I've had this occur every now and then since I was a kid, but back then I always assumed it was just my dad who fell asleep with the TV on. I sometimes get this weird kind of overstimulation, like everything I hear or see just becomes overwhelming, and I need to close my eyes and breathe slowly. I'm sure there's more people that experience this. Whenever I used to work late in college and currently at my job, I'll get really into the work and will be kind of staring at the screen while analyzing what I'm trying to do. Whatever I'm staring at almost goes out of focus for less than half a second. It's like a really tiny spasm my eyes get, and I can feel them vibrating subtly. Then it's back to normal. I'll admit my eyesight is pretty damn poor without my glasses, so it could be something related to that as well. I can make loud clicking noises with my jaw. I can feel it moving when I do it. I can do it whenever I want, but sometimes it happens randomly when eating because of the position it is in. Feels like there's a hair tickling your skin, but there's nothing there when checking it. Sometimes when I touch the skin above my lips, or I wipe my mouth, it feels like someone stuck a needle into the skin, like a prick. Edit, I need to wax my upper lip apparently. I'm a lady. If I think about a particular word for too long, I feel like the word is incorrect or never actually existed. The thawing out sensation when going from a cold environment into a much warmer environment. Like coming into a heated house after being out in the frigid weather for a bit. When you are having a tip of the tongue retrieval failure. For just a moment you remember that word, but then you get all excited and forget it again, and now it's totally unretrievable. I read a study about this, but sometimes I'll just randomly think about doing the most awful thing I can think of, and it scares me. Edit, thank you for upvoting. This is now my most popular post. I get this weird feeling in my brain where it feels like I'm rocking forward and backwards, and my head is nodding, even though I'm still, and I can't shake the feeling. I also have a hard time thinking when that happens. I'm /30 female. Anyone else get this? Sometimes I get this weird feeling like I'm not in the moment, almost like I'm watching myself from the third person. Being in a cozy environment like a camper or RV makes me want to poop. I get this thought like, whoa, I'm alive and seeing right now. It'll be like everything around me exists. This is all real. Pee shivers. Sometimes when I pee, it causes me to get a quick shiver. I'm not cold, just get a little shiver really quick. Anyone else get a tiny buzz and hard nipples from a good sneeze? Occasionally my brain would feel cold. Sometimes I'd listen to a particularly moving piece of music, or read a really good quote, or enjoy a fantastic movie scene. It goes beyond that though. It's like my energy levels are almost on a supernatural level when it happens. It's more than just excitement or high motivation too. I'm talking a primal, amazing sensation. It doesn't last very long, but for a few seconds, it's like I'm one with the world, as corny as that sounds. And no, I'm not talking about masturbation. When I'm sick with the flu or something, I see lots of numbers that keep increasing when I close my eyes in bed, and it gives me a headache. I think I saw a word for it once, so I'm sure other people do. I think it was called Sonder. Basically, you'll be out somewhere public, enjoying your day, and be struck by the sudden and intense realization that every single person around you is living a life as vivid and complex as yours. It's something you don't really think about outside of yourself and in relation to your loved ones. And it messes me up for a while whenever I'm hit with it. I overheat, and I don't think it's the same for the average person. I can be in a relatively cold room, but still feel really hot. Sometimes I get so hot that my girlfriend says she can literally feel the heat radiating off me if I get too close. Especially if we're in bed together, or if I hover my hand or something over her skin. I'm really scared that I'm going to be the next human to spontaneously combust. Edit. This got a lot of replies, so here's some answers. I sweat more than the average person in my hands and feet due to having hyperhidrosis. My sweating in other areas I would say is normal. I have low blood pressure, and I'm pretty skinny, I'd say. I weigh 151 at 5 feet 7. Also no antidepressants. Should probably get my thyroid checked though. Once in a really great while. Maybe like twice a year it happens. Normally when I look in the mirror, I'm just looking at my reflection and think nothing of it. Every so often I'll just get a super odd feeling that's a bit hard to describe. But it feels like I'm looking at another person and that person in the mirror is someone else. I still know 100% full well that it's me in the mirror. It just doesn't feel like it. I don't have any identity disorders, and this doesn't manifest itself in any other way other than that couple times a year in the mirror. Lasts a minute or so. I sometimes get goosebumps on my left hip out of nowhere. It's haltingly for like 45 seconds and it's in that one isolated area. Getting a stubborn, halting sneeze to emerge by glancing at a bright light. When I'm stressed, the space inside my head, kind of like the stage where my imagination plays out, gets smaller and more cramped, and it gets bigger than usual when I'm especially relaxed. I have no idea whether other people have such a physical experience of imagination. My brain makes exploding sounds when I hit my boredom limit. It happened this morning, after waiting at a walk-in clinic with my husband for way too long this morning, and then in a line to get lunch. I explained it to him, and he stared at me in disbelief. So I guess that hearing exploding sounds when you're really understimulated. Edit. Grammar. When I feel socially anxious and have to walk past a group of people, tears appear in my eyes. Like this tension puts pressure on my eyes or something. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.